soccer practice after school too. Okay, got it. I got to do the grocery shopping. Got to drop the kids off at school in the morning. Okay, got the morning drop at school. I got to pick the kids up from practice after school. Okay, got that too, right? So what does she got? She's got 8 action items on her list. 8. Now, that seems like a lot of things to do, but she only has one result she's after. And if she doesn't get all 8 action items done, she'll be fine. In fact, she might be able to leverage some of these, as we'll talk about later. Now, remember our conversation about chunking yesterday? Can you see why this lady was overwhelmed? A lot of these things could be grouped together, couldn't they? But right now, I look at these things and I'd say, okay, well, do any of these things have something in common? Like, look at things like getting kids dressed, picking the kids up from school, dropping them off. I see a lot of these things that relate to her kids. And some of these things seem to relate to the household, like paying the bills, doing the laundry. Some of these things, doing the grocery shopping, these relate more to in my mind, towards something around her house. So maybe there's 2 RPM blocks here. Do you follow me on this? Maybe there's 2 big results. Instead of 11 things she's got to do, maybe there's 2 results she's got to get. So let's go to step 2. I said, is that everything? She goes, yeah, I think so. I'm sure there's more. I said, well, great. Tell me what it is. It's amazing how we always think there's more, but if we start writing it down, we'll start to realize the more is that we keep saying the same stuff to ourselves over and over and over again, more and more and more stressed, right? So she started to calm down a little bit. She goes, still looks like a lot to me. I said, that's because we haven't done the second step. What's step 2? She said, create an RPM plan. I said, that's right. I said, so RPM plan sounds like a big deal. It's just a master plan for your day, but it's really easy. What's the question you got? She said, okay, well, what's the most important thing that I got to get out of this day? I said, no. What's the most important thing you want from this day? What's the most important thing you want to achieve this day? What's the most important result? What's your outcome of this day? What's the most important thing? What's the most important result you can achieve today? What are you committed to achieving? And then after we answer that question, we're going to answer, why do you want that? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to achieve this? And then third, we're going to ask, what specific action you need to take? So let's start with the first question. Look at your list, but also just think about your day. Your list is not your day. You don't want your day to be just a bunch of lists, or you'll have no life, and you'll wonder why you feel unfulfilled. So what's the most important result you want to achieve today? She said, well, I guess I look at this stuff. I said, well, does any of this stuff relate to each other first? You got several things here. Like I see you have things like get the kids dressed. And I see you got things like drop your daughter off at flute lessons. And you got drop your son off at soccer practice. And I see you drop the kids off at school and pick the kids up from practice. Those all kind of relate to your kids, don't they? So what's the result you're committed to having with your kids today? I mean, forget about the individual action items like drive them here and drive them there. Think about, what do you really want with your kids? What would be a great outcome of this day? What would be a great result? She said, well, I really want to connect with my kids. I said, well, what a concept. Could you do all these things? Make the breakfast, drive them to school, drop them off, pick them up to flute lessons, do all that stuff, and not have any connection because you're so stressed? She goes, honestly, I've been feeling bad because I feel that's how it's been.
I got to drop my son
so that's because you didn't know what you were really after.
School
you thought you were after a bunch of to-dos.
I got to do the grocery shopping.
So what do you really want? She said, I want to connect with my kids at the deepest level. So what else do you want? Let's really get a really juicy result here. I got to pick the kids up from practice after school. Okay, got that too. So I want to connect with the kids.
So what does she got? She's got 8 action items on her list.
I said, well, great. That's different than just
that seems like a lot of things to do, but she only has
fun with them. And by the way, if you know that when you're driving them to school or you pick it up for flute lessons and you know your mind is focused on, I want to connect with them. I want to have fun with them. You can have a different conversation in the car.
See why this
it's a different action list, even if you don't make an action list.
Could be grouped together, couldn't they?
She started
but right now, I look at these things and I'd say, okay, well,
I said, okay,
do any of these things have something in common? Like,
let's not just see.
Look at things
so
like
you want to connect with your kids at the deepest level, and you want to have fun with them. What else? She goes, well, I really want to affect their values because that's what a mom is about. I shouldn't just connect and have fun. I mean, I should be affecting the way they think about themselves and about life.
Doing the grocery shopping. These relate more to
your result for the day, the result you're committed to.
So maybe there's
the most important outcome
RPM blocks here. Do you follow me?
You want to connect with your kids at the deepest level,
instead of
have fun with them, and really
do.
affect
Maybe
their
there's
values.
2 results she's got to get.
She smiled. She goes, yeah. I said, how would you feel?
Let's go to step 2. I said, is that everything? She goes, yeah,
that's all
I'm sure there's more. I said, well, great. Tell me what it is.
Really connect
it's amazing how we always think there's more.
Really at the deepest
but if we start writing it down, we'll start to realize the more is that we keep saying the same stuff to ourselves over and over and over again, more and more stress.
Other than my husband, she said. And then
she started calming down.
Nothing else
still looks like a lot to me.
Really would be an amazing day. Well, then let's plan a day like that.
What's step 2? She said, create an RPM plan. So that's right. I said,
why? Let's go to the purpose.
RPM plan sounds like a big deal.
We're on a piece
It's
of
just a
paper. We're
master
writing
plan
the
for
middle
your
of the
day.
result that
It's
she's
really
committed
easy.
to, right?
What's the question you got? She said,
To the
okay,
right, we're
well,
gonna write the purpose.
what's the most
What will
important
this give
thing
you?
that
Why
I got to
is
get
this
out of this
important?
day?
She
I
said,
said,
well,
no. What's the most
that's
important
what I was
thing you
made
want
for.
from this day?
I'm made
What's
to
the
be a
most
mom.
important thing you
I'm
want to
made
achieve this day? What's the
connect
most
with these
important
children. I'm
result?
made to
What's your
love them
outcome this day? What's the
and
most
share with them
important thing?
and shape them
What's
and
the
give
most
them
important
values.
result you can
Let's write this
achieve
out. She goes,
today?
well, that's what I'm
What are you
made for.
committed to
She
achieve?
wrote it. You should have seen
And then
the
after we
pride
answer
in her
that
face.
question, we're going to answer,
Like,
why do you
she
want that?
breathed
Why do you
differently,
want to
her
do
whole
this?
state
Why do you want
changed.
to
By the
achieve
way,
this?
when
And then
she
third,
started
we're
saying,
going to
this is
ask,
what I'm made
what
for, she
specific
said, that's
action
what
you need
being
to
a
take?
mom
So
is
let's start with the
really
first
all
question. Look
about.
at your list.
And she
but also
had a
just
big
think about
smile on
your
her
day.
face.
Your list is
love
not your
laughing
day.
with
You don't
them.
want your
I
day to
love
be just a
being
bunch
with
of
them.
lists, or
Besides
you
that,
have
I'm
no
a
life.
super
And you
mom.
wonder why you feel
Because I asked her, I
unfulfilled.
said, who
So
are
what's the
you?
most important
Because if
result
you
you
can
want to achieve today?
attach
She said,
the
well,
results you have in your life to your identity.
I
the
guess
way
I
you
looked at this
perceive
stuff. I said, well,
yourself
does
as a
any of this
person,
stuff
boy,
relate
you got
to each
some
other
major
first?
drive
You got
there.
several
I'm
things here.
super
Like I
mom.
see you have things
Well,
like
super mom,
get the
she
kids
can
dressed.
certainly connect
So
with
you
her
got
kids
things
at
like
the deepest level.
drop
She
your
can
daughter off
certainly
at flute
affect their
lessons.
values.
You
So then I
got
said,
drop your
okay,
son off at soccer
we've
practice.
got your
And I see you
result.
drop the kids
right,
off
that
at
you're committed
school.
to.
Pick
We've
the
got
kids
the
up from
purpose.
practice.
So
Those all
let's
kind of relate
brainstorm.
to
What
your
are some
kids,
of the
don't
things
they?
you're going to do? She said,
So
well,
what's
I'm
the
going to
result
connect with
you're
my
committed to
kids.
having with your kids today?
She goes into an
I mean,
effective
forget about
values.
the
I should
individual action items like drive them here and drive them there.
to them in the
Think
car,
about what do you
because we
really
got that
want
time
with your
in the
kids.
car. I said, that's right.
What would
What's
be
that
a
time
great
called?
outcome of this
Net
day?
time.
What would be a great result? She said,
No
well,
extra time
I
to
really
affect
want
your
to
values
connect
of your
with my
kids.
kids. I said, well, what a
You don't have to say,
concept.
oh, I got to
Could you
spend
do
2
all these
hours to
things?
set aside to
You know,
talk to my
make the
kids about
breakfast, drive
values.
them to school,
You're
drop
already
them
with
off,
them,
pick
for
them up,
God's
flute
sake.
lessons,
There's
all that
real
stuff,
life
and not have any
experiences all
connection because you're
around.
so stressed. She goes, you know,
She said,
honestly,
yeah,
I can
but
feel them
really
back
didn't
because I
think it
feel
through.
that's how
I
it's
said, well,
been.
here's what most people do when they
I
go
said,
on
that's because you didn't know what you were really after. You thought you were after a bunch of to-dos.
She goes, okay, I should brainstorm
what do you really
some
want? She
stories.
said, I want to connect
Some
with
things I
my
want to
kids
talk
at
to
the
my kids
deepest
about
level.
while I'm driving.
So what else do you want? Let's really get a really juicy result here.
And maybe some
I want
things
to
that
connect with the
would
kids at
affect
the
the way
deepest
they
level.
think
And I
or the
want to
way
have
they
fun with
value
them.
their lives or
I
what's
said, well,
important
great.
to them.
That's different than just
That's great.
connecting.
And by the
I want
way,
to have fun with them. And by
that's
the way,
easy
if
to do.
you know
Yeah,
that
actually,
when
I
you're
had
driving them to
fun brainstorming
school
stories
or
and
you're
thoughts
picking them
like
up
that,
for
'cause I
flute
don't have
lessons
time
and you
usually.
know your mind is
I said, no,
focused
no,
on,
you
I
don't
want
take
to
time.
connect with them. I want to have fun with
The
them.
reason you don't
You
take
can have a
time
different
is you think your
conversation in
time
the
is
car,
about
aren't you?
paying
It's
the
a
bills,
different
making
action
breakfast,
list, even if
driving
you don't
people to
make an
school.
action
You
list.
don't take the time to
She started nodding her head. She goes, oh, I start to see.
Focus is really
I said,
to connect
okay,
with your
well,
kids
let's feel.
and really
Not
have
just
fun
see.
with them and really
So
affect
you want to
their
connect with your
values.
kids at the deepest level, and you want to have fun with them. What else? She goes,
Understand
well, I
this
really
process.
want to
See,
affect their
this is
values
not
because
some
that's
stupid
what a
to-do
mom is
plan.
about. You know,
All
I
that's
shouldn't
gonna do
just
is
connect
give
and
you more
have fun. I mean, I
stuff
should
to
be
do and make
affecting
you
the way
more
they
stress.
think
It's
about
not gonna
themselves
change
and
the
about
quality
life.
of
I
your
said, okay,
life.
let's write this down.
Maybe it'll make you a little
So
more
your
efficient,
result for the day, the
but being
result you're committed to,
efficient
the most
and not
important outcome
having
for you.
enthusiasm
You want
for
to
what
connect
you're
with your
doing
kids
is
at the
not gonna
deepest
make your
level,
life
and
better.
have fun with them, and really
So
affect
now
their
we got a plan.
values.
She's going to brainstorm
And she
some
smiled.
stories
She
to
goes,
talk
yeah.
to
I
her
said,
kids
how would
about.
you
So when she's in
feel
the car, she's prepared to do
if that's
something
all
really
you
cool.
did that day?
Not trying to think
You
of stories
really
while she's
connected
trying
with
to
your
drive,
kids,
while she's
and
trying to
really
deal
at
with
the
the
deepest
kids.
level,
She's
you had a
prepared.
fun blast with them,
So
and
after
you
she
affect
gave
their
me that
values. She goes,
action
God,
item about
nothing else would
brainstorming
matter.
stories, I said, okay,
Other than my husband,
let's
she
focus
said.
on the result
Other
again.
than that,
The
nothing else would
result you
matter.
want.
It really would be an
So
amazing day. So
what
let's
else
plan a
do
day
you
like
need to
that.
do if you really want to
I said,
connect with your
why?
kids, have fun, and affect their
Why?
values?
Let's go to the purpose now. And if
She
we're on a
said,
piece
well,
of
there's
paper,
other
we're
things
writing the middle
I
of the
might
result.
want to do to
that
take
she's
care of
committed to,
myself,
right?
so there's something on me
To the right,
to
we're going to
help
write the
them with.
purpose. What will
I
this
said,
give
isn't
you?
that
Why is
funny?
this
You don't have
important? She
anything
said,
on
well,
taking care of yourself.
that's what I was made for.
List you came
I'm
up with.
made
No
to be
wonder
a
you're
mom. I'm
stressed. She
made
goes, no
to
kidding.
connect with
She
these
goes,
children.
I
I'm
don't have time
made
for
to
me,
love
so
them
then I feel
and share with
sometimes
them
even
and
frustrated,
shape
sometimes
them
even
and give them
resentful. I
values.
gotta
So
take
let's
care of
write this out.
everybody
She goes, well,
else.
that's what I'm made for. And
I
she
said, well,
wrote
maybe
it.
what
You
you want
should
to do
see
is
the
create an
pride in her
outcome
face.
around taking care of
Like,
yourself.
she breathed differently.
That
Her
we'll
whole
also do
state
on this
changed.
day.
By the way,
Is there any
when she started
action
saying, this is
item
what
that we
I'm
might
made
put
for,
in
she
here
says,
that'll
that's what
help
being a
you
mom
connect
is
with the
really
kids?
all about.
She
And
said,
she'd have a big smile on her face.
I just took a moment maybe
She
and
plus, I love laughing with them. I love being with them. Besides that, I'm a super mom. Because I asked her, I said, who are you? Because if you can attach the results you have in your life to your identity, the way you perceive yourself as a person, boy, you got some major drive there. I'm super mom. Well, super mom, she can certainly connect with her kids. She can certainly affect their values. So then I said, okay, we've got your results, right, that you're committed to. We've got the purpose. So let's brainstorm. What are some of the things you're going to do? She said, well, if I'm going to connect with my kids,
think about what you want.
She goes, and I'm going to affect their values.
Why you want it.
I should probably talk to them in the car because we got that time in the car. I said, that's right. What's that time called? Net time.
Action list.
Right? No extra time to affect your values of your kids.
Once you're in the state,
you don't have to say, I got to spend 2 hours to set aside to talk to my kids about values. You're already with them, for God's sake. There's real life experiences all around.
It should be guided today.
Yeah, but I really need to think it through. I said, well, here's what most people do when they build an RPM plan. They think about brainstorming as an action item. She goes, okay, I should brainstorm some stories, some things I want to talk to my kids about while I'm driving today, some things that'll be fun, some things that would connect us, and maybe some things that would affect the way they think or the way they value their lives or what's important to them.
Come on, Johnny, we got to do this, we got to do that.
And by the way, that's easy to do. She goes, yeah, I actually had fun brainstorming stories and thoughts like that because I don't have time usually. I said, no, you don't take time.
I'm going to get to this
The
later.
reason you don't take time because you think your time is about paying the bills, making breakfast, driving people to school. You don't take the time
so she
to
won't
know
have to figure this out every time. After a while,
really to
she'll just
with
know
your
that's
kids
one of the most important
really
results
have
for
fun
each
with
day
them and
for
really
her.
affect their values.
And she'll just change a little bit of the purpose and change the action items for the day.
See, this is
already
not
has
some
an
stupid to-do
organizing
plan.
principle. She already has
all
a
that's going
drawer
to do is
to put
give you
all
more
those
stuff to
action
do and
items
make
in
you
that
more
she can
stressed. It's
open up
not
when
going to
she
change the
needs
quality
them.
of your life.
She doesn't have to be
Maybe it'll
overwhelmed
make you
trying
a
to
little
remember
more
everything in
efficient.
that drawer.
But being efficient
You follow me on that?
and not having enthusiasm for what you're doing is not going to make your life better.
What else do you need to do to really connect with your kids?
So now we got a plan. She's going to brainstorm some stories to talk to her kids about. So when she's in the car, she's prepared to do something really cool. Not trying to think of stories while she's trying to drive, while she's trying to deal with the kids. She's
I'm going to write
prepared.
that down as my action item.
So after she gave me that action item about brainstorming stories, I said, okay, let's focus on the result again. The result you want. So what else do you need to do if you really want to connect with your kids, have fun, and affect their values?
Since I want to connect with her,
she said, well, there's other things I might want to do to take care of myself, so there's something on me to help them with.
How much longer can it take?
I said, isn't that funny? You don't have anything on taking care of yourself on this to-do list you came up with. No wonder you're stressed. She goes, no kidding. She goes, I don't have time for me, so then I feel sometimes even frustrated, sometimes even resentful. I got to take care of everybody else. I said, well, maybe what you want to do is create an outcome around taking care of yourself.
Look what happens. You're
that
achieving
will also
your
do
real
on this
outcomes
day.
instead
But is
of
there any
making
action
breakfast
item that
every
we
day.
might put in here that'll help you connect with the
Saying,
kids?
wow, this is fantastic.
She said, you know, if I just took a moment maybe and I stopped and prayed to God for guidance on
okay, let's continue with the list. Now she's excited about making a list. And suddenly people want to plan. It's amazing.
Really connect to my faith.
Traditional planning is anal stuff. This is emotional stuff. This is about finding what you want for your life and making it happen. So she said, okay, let's cross off make breakfast now. And by the way, that's what we're doing if you didn't notice. We're crossing off her little capture list, so we get rid of all the to-dos. They fit into an RPM plan, or we create a new one, or we get rid of them.
You think about why.
So what else? She said, well, I'm going to help the kids get dressed.
What do I need to do?
I'll connect with them into that. Would be great. Laugh and have fun. I'll connect with the kids while I drive them to school. I'll take my daughter to flute lessons and connect then, and I'll take my son to soccer practice.
Okay, her second thing she's going to do is stop and pray.
We put a box around that,
and that she can have a
and now we
great
got
day
a
with her children,
block.
really
We have an RPM block, right? Something she can focus on. It's very different than all that long list of things. She can see one thing that this is about. Because if she doesn't do all these, but she just connects with her kids and she has fun and she affects their values, the day was a success.
Come on, Johnny, we got to do
somebody else got the kids dressed.
Totally
if she can still connect with them, it's okay.
This
even
is
if
the
someone else
power of
picked up her daughter.
Because by the way,
as long as she found time to connect with her and have fun with her, she can still get what she's after. So she's not tied into some
so she won't have to figure this out every time. After a while, she doesn't know that's one of the most important results for each day for her. And she'll just change a little bit of the purpose and change the action items of the day. She already has an organizing principle. She already has a drawer to put all those action items in that she can open up when she needs them.
And by the way,
she doesn't have to be overwhelmed trying to remember everything in that drawer.
And it's got 7 action items. What if she's really busy? What if
So
it's hard to get all these done?
To really
she can still get her outcomes. I've already said
really
to
have
connect
fun
with
them,
her
to
kids
really affect their values. What else do you do to support your kids? And she said, well, I need to make them breakfast. But she goes, you know, now I'm going to write that down as my action item, and I'll make breakfast and have fun while we're doing it.
Try to get someone else to do something,
how we can have
and
fun
then you
making
forget
breakfast.
about
Maybe I'll show Mary
when you
how to
leverage
make
something,
pancakes.
you're still responsible.
She's always bugging me about it. I always say we don't have time, but
you know,
because I want to connect with her. I want to teach her values of responsibility and independence.
Maybe you could have someone else pick up your kids. Maybe you could carve one. She said, no, I don't want to miss out on the time I can spend with them.
Talking about. I said, now you're thinking.
That's a lot different than when
now
you
she
were
makes
talking
the
in the
pancakes
beginning
and
when
you
you told me how
celebrate and have
stressed
fun.
out you were.
Right now she feels really proud of herself. Look what happens. You're achieving your real outcomes instead of just making breakfast every day.
Right?
She starts saying,
wow,
wow,
and I said, look how happy you are.
By the way, look what this does to the quality of your
creates
life.
joy.
She goes, okay, let's continue with the list. Now she's excited about making her list. Suddenly people want to plan. It's amazing. Because traditional planning is anal stuff. This is emotional stuff. This is about planning what you want for your life and making it happen. So she said, okay, let's cross off make breakfast now. By the way, that's what we're doing if you didn't notice. We're crossing off her little capture list so we get rid of all those to-dos. They fit into an RPM plan, or we create a new one, or we get rid of them. So what else? She said, well, I'm going to help the kids get dressed, but I'll connect with them then too. That would be great. Laughing and fun. I'll connect with the kids while I drive them to school. I'll take my daughter to flute lessons, connect then, and I'll take my son to soccer practice. So she ended up with 7 action items. We put a box around that, and now we got a block. We have an RPM block. Something she can focus on. It's very different than all that long list of things. She can see one thing that this is about. Because if she doesn't do all these, but she just connects with her kids and she has fun and she affects their values, the day was a success. Even if somebody else got the kids dressed, she can still connect with them, it's okay. Even if someone else picked up her daughter, as long as she found time to connect with her and have fun with her, she can still get what she's after. And so she's not tied into some rigid schedule that's inflexible and makes her stress and have no life.
All these 4 might relate to.
You don't have
What's
to be a
something
soccer
you really
mom
want to
relate
get
that
as a
your life
result
is so
today that's
rigid because
really
you're trying to
important
get
to you?
everything done and you've
She
forgotten
said,
what
well,
you really have.
you know, I got to pay the bills.
And by the way,
she
now
has
she's
prepare
got
dinner.
this little RPM block and it's got 7 action items. What if she's really busy?
What are you paying
What if it's hard to get all
for?
these
What are you preparing the
done?
dinner?
She can
What's
still
all
get
this
her
really
outcomes, I've
about?
already
Doing
said,
the
to connect with her
laundry, doing
kids and
grocery
have
shopping.
fun,
Think about
affect
what
their values.
result you want
But
from
what
all
she
this.
should look
What's
for
the
is
big deal? What are
leverage.
you after?
Now
What do
remember,
you want?
leverage
She
is
goes, well,
not delegation.
I want to create a great
Delegation
environment
is when
for
you
my
try to get
family.
someone else to do something and then you just forget about it.
Outcome.
When you
That's a
leverage
great
something,
result.
you're still responsible to get that result, but you're working through someone else to get it done. So I said, maybe you could leverage some of these items. Maybe you could have someone else pick up your kids. Maybe you could carpool. She said, no, I don't want to miss out on the time I can spend with them.
Family.
I said, that's a lot different than when you were talking in the beginning when you told me how stressed out you were. She goes, yeah, but now I got a purpose for this. I know what I'm really after. I said, you're practicing RPM, baby.
The outcome is to get it done.
Now you're on a roll. And I said, look how happy you are. RPM creates joy.
It's really good.
That's why you should be chanting RPM. It's not like this big business tool. It's a fulfillment tool. It's a tool for transforming your kids' lives and your life too. I said, okay.
You're going to move.
So how your kids? She goes, yeah, that's a great plan for the day. I said, perfect. And by the way, you're going to probably create a plan like this for the week and for the month. And you're probably going to be a regular focus for you. This is you're going to learn later is probably an area of your life that you're going to be focusing on quite a bit. It already is, but now you're going to do it consciously instead of unconsciously.
That's what I really want. I really want everybody to feel totally nurtured.
So now what have we done? I said, let's take a look at your original capture list and see what we got rid of. All right, making breakfast is now part of this plan. Getting kids dressed is part of this plan. We get to cross it off. Cross off, drop your daughter off at flute lessons. Cross off, drop your son off at soccer practice.
Why do you want to do that?
Cross off, drop the kids off at school.
Because we all deserve to be in a great environment.
So guess what? Your list today is now 1, pay the bills, 2, prepare dinner, 3, do the laundry,
she said,
and 4, do
clutter
grocery
makes
shopping.
me crazy. In order to make me happy.
Look at your day.
I said,
tell me what else is a really important result you want for this day. And is there anything that all these might relate to? What's something you really want to get as a result today that's really important to you? She said, well, all that I got to pay the bills. She goes,
so think about it. Here's her day now. She wants to connect with her kids at the deepest
just tell me what you really want. What are you paying the bills for? What are you preparing to do? What's all this really about? Doing the laundry, doing the grocery shopping. Think about what result you want from all this. What's the big thing? What are you after? What do you want? She goes, well, I want to create a great environment for my family.
She knows why. Well, let's come up with a plan.
Okay, that's a great outcome. That's a great result. Let's language it a little more. Let's write it a few times so you can find a way to language that really juices you. So I want to create a great environment for my family. She goes, no, I want to create and also maintain a great environment for my family.
Go to the
I said, just for your family, what about you?
Okay, great.
And that's one of the great things about results. See, if you just say, well, my outcome is to get this done, that's one thing. If the outcome is to get it done and enjoy the process, you're going to come up with a different action plan.
I got to make the beds.
It's really good in the beginning to practice rewriting these result blocks, because even though it might take a little more time initially, it's still a rapid planning method, because once you figure it out, you're going to move forward faster.
Something
you're going to get a better result.
Intellectually you do.
So she said, okay. She finally came up with,
so
I'm going to create and maintain an environment that supports me and my family in feeling totally nurtured.
Right? The first step was capture.
How's that feel? That I love.
Build your RPM
that's what I really want. I really want everybody to feel totally nurtured. So I want it to be a great environment. I want it to support me and my family. So, okay, great. So we wrote it down. Create and maintain an environment that supports me and my family and feeling totally nurtured. I said, okay. Now tell me, why do you want to do this? What's the purpose? She said, because we all deserve to be in a great environment. She said, because cleanliness is next to godliness.
When you do an RPM block,
really enthusiastic.
You'll want to answer those.
She said, because clutter makes me crazy and order makes me happy. I said, well, who are you when you're mastering all this? Because remember, if you can think about a role you play in life that relates to makes us stronger. I'm the queen of the kingdom. I'm the house master.
I said, which one of these is first?
So we wrote all that in her purpose.
I need to go to the store.
So think about it. Here's her day now. She wants to connect with her kids at the deepest level and have fun with them and really affect their values. That's her number one result for the day. And she knows why, and she has a plan. And the second thing, she wants to create and maintain an environment that really supports herself and her family and feeling really nurtured.
Question about this.
She knows why. Well, let's come up with a plan. What's the third part? You got the R, the P. What's the massive action plan? What specific action do you need to take today to create and maintain an environment that supports you and your family?
Massive action plan is to
I got to make the dinner, so I need to go to the store and do the grocery shopping.
So if there were a couple of these things,
I need to do the laundry.
Most
okay,
important.
Good. And she needs, I need to fold the clothes.
You really create, maintain the
I need to make dinner.
What are they?
I got to pay the bills. I got to vacuum the living room. I got to do the dishes. I got to make the beds.
Those are
with 8 more action items. No wonder she was stressed before. She had 16 action items. Now she's thinking about 2 results.
So the first thing you do after you have an RPM block,
this is not just something that intellectually you do. This is something that'll start to affect you. So I said, now, I want to show you how to take the second step where you're building your RPM block, right? With first step was capture,
things you do will give you 80% of the reward you want.
Let me show you a way to
focus on
refine
the
this
most
now.
important one.
So the RPM block is absolutely complete
It just means if things got really pushed,
got a result,
she knows she's got to make dinner for sure. She's got to go to the
look on the page, you'll
shopping
see there's 3 other items that are there.
I said, now here's the second one. How long will the stuff take?
Priority. One says DUR, stands for duration.
Sure you do.
One
Don't
says
say you
LED,
don't know.
which means
You tell
leverage.
yourself that, you
When you do an
frustrate
RPM block,
yourself. So
you'll want to
estimate.
answer those
Well,
additional 3
probably take me
questions, which is what's
45
the
minutes to the
priority
store
of these.
shopping.
Because when it's time to
Probably
do this, you
gonna
want to
take
just look
me an
down
hour
at
to
your
do the
plan and
laundry.
know where to go. So you have
Probably take me
immediate
about 15
power,
minutes
immediate
to fold the
momentum.
clothes.
Your RPMs are
I have
moving.
45 minutes to make
So
dinner.
I said,
About
which of
30
these is
minutes to
first?
pay
She
the
said,
bills.
well, I
About
need to
20
go to the
minutes to
store
vacuum
and do
the
the
living
grocery
room. About
shopping.
30
I need to
minutes
do the
the
laundry
dishes.
next.
So you
I
must
do need to
have a
fold the
big
clothes
living
right
room.
after I
It
do
takes
the
20
laundry, and
minutes
then
to
make
vacuum
dinner
that
after
thing.
that,
Maybe I
pay the
go a
bills
lot
after that,
faster.
vacuum the living room, then do the
She
dishes and then make the
And she
beds.
said
That's
about
the
20 minutes to
sequence.
make the
So,
bed,
okay.
30 minutes to make the bed.
I said, let me ask you a
okay,
question
those are
about
pretty
this.
big estimates.
I said,
I
you
said,
know,
so if
in
we add all that
life,
up together,
20% of the things you
4 hours
do
and
give you
35
80% of the
minutes you've committed
results.
just for this
And one of the
block.
things that helps people when
this
they're building this
RPM
massive
block.
action plan
It's
is
now,
to
but if
realize
we
they don't
add
have to
up
do
what's a must
everything
for
to
you,
get the result.
which is
So
going to the
if
grocery
there were a
store
couple of these
and
things that
making
were the
dinner.
most
The
important
must time is an
that
hour
would
and
cause
30
you to really
minutes.
create and maintain the environment you want, what are they? She said, well, I got to do the grocery shopping.
Because if you get
And she
stressed,
said, got to
you
make
have
dinner.
no time.
Those are musts for me.
You can still get
So
the
let's put
results of
asterisks next to
creating,
those. Let's make
maintaining
those
an environment
must
that supports
actions.
your family and
So the
makes them
first thing you do
nurtured
after
by
you have an
giving them a
RPM
great
block, when you
meal.
know the result
And
you
do that
want,
in an hour
the
and 30
purpose you're
minutes.
after, and the
And you might
action
do
plan
the
you
other
have,
things, laundry
is
that
you figure out your
tomorrow if you have
priority
to.
and figure which ones are your
But you
musts.
still got
Remember,
your outcome for the day.
basic
You still
fundamental
got your
is this.
result. I said,
20% of things you do will give you 80% of the rewards you want in life. So focus on the most important ones. That doesn't mean she isn't going to do all 8 things. It just means if things got really pushed, she knows she's got to make dinner for sure. She's got to go to the shopping and get that done. I said, now here's the second question. How long will this stuff
I said,
take?
I'll give you a clue.
She said, oh, I
Look
don't
at the
know.
first
Sure you do.
outcome
Don't
have
say
for
you
the
don't
day, the
know. When
first
you tell
result
yourself
block.
that, you
What does it
frustrate
gather?
yourself.
She goes,
You know.
well,
So
connect
estimate.
with my
She goes,
children,
well,
have fun,
probably take me
and
45
really
minutes to do
affect
the
their
store
values.
shopping.
I said,
Probably going to take me an hour to do the
I
laundry.
got it. Guess who's
Probably take
folding
me
the
about
clothes?
15 minutes to fold the clothes.
So she
About
put
45
under
minutes
the
to make
LED,
dinner.
she
About
wrote
30 minutes to
kids.
pay the bills.
I
About
said,
20 minutes
okay,
to
anything
vacuum the
else? She
living
goes,
room. About
vacuum
30
the
minutes to
living
do the
room.
dishes.
You know, Mary can do that. She
Big
put
living
kids.
room
In
takes
fact,
20
she
minutes to
probably
vacuum
loved
that
doing
thing,
that.
baby. I go a lot
She always
faster.
wants to grab the vacuum when I'm
laughed.
doing it. Great.
And she said about
How
20
about
minutes to
doing the
make the beds,
dishes?
30 minutes to make the
Kids.
beds. I said, okay,
How
those are pretty big
about making the
estimates.
beds? Kids
I
maybe
said, so
should
if
make
we
their
add all
own
that up
bed. You can
together,
supervise.
that's
Well, guess
4
what?
hours and
If we
35
take
minutes you've
kids for
committed
making
just
the
for
beds,
this
that's 30
block.
minutes. Doing the
This
dishes is 30
RPM
minutes.
block.
Vacuuming is 20
No,
minutes.
but if we add up,
and
what's a
we look
must
at
for you?
folding the clothes, that's
Which is
15
going to the
minutes.
grocery
You just
store
saved
and making
yourself
dinner.
2 hours.
The must time is an
You
hour and
still
30
got the
minutes.
result. Better than that.
So
You
this
didn't
is
just
really
get the
important. We're going to write
result.
this beside your block.
You
I said,
got your
because
more
if you get
important outcome.
stressed, you think, I have no
You
time.
can be there with the kids while it's
You can
happening.
still get the
connect
result
with
of
them,
creating
but
and
you're
maintaining
teaching
an
them
environment that
values
supports
of
your family and makes them feel
responsibility, of
nurtured by
independence,
giving
of
them a great
pride.
meal. And you can
She
do that in an
started
hour and 30
smiling,
minutes.
that sense of
And you might do the other
no
things,
more
laundry,
stress,
that
right? All
tomorrow
of
if
a
you
sudden
had
you can
to.
just see her go, oh
But
my
you
God.
still got your
we
outcome
can
for
have
the
a
day. You
life.
still got your result.
And
I said,
you know what? I
follow
wouldn't
that?
have to
She
feel
goes,
guilty because I
I said, but
know
let me
this
show
is
you how you
what I
can whittle this
want
4
to do.
hours
I'm
and
not
35
making
minutes
my
way
kids
down.
do it. I
I
want to
said,
do
the
this because
third
it's for
one,
them. It's great
leverage.
for them. It's great for me.
Who
It's
could
a
you
total
leverage some of
win-win.
this to? Who could you
Now,
get to do this stuff that will
this is
maybe
the
be
process
good for
that I
them?
made her go back
I said,
up and
I'll
do
give
on
you
the
a
first
clue.
block as well.
Look at the first
I had to go
outcome
back
you have
and
for the
figure
day, the
out
first
what's the
result block.
priority,
What does
which
it gather?
ones are
She goes,
musts,
well,
how much
connect with my
time
children,
for each,
have
what
fun,
could you
and
leverage?
really affect
But
their
you know what's
values. I
interesting?
said,
In her first list, she
She goes,
didn't
I
leverage
got
very
it.
much.
Guess who's folding the
She
clothes?
wanted to be with the kids. She didn't
So
want
she
to
put
go
under the
send them
LED,
with
she wrote
somebody else
kids.
in the car. She
I
wanted
said,
to be
okay,
with
anything
them.
else? She goes,
But
vacuum
later
living
on,
room.
she may
You
on
know,
another
Mary
day
can
she
do
may
that.
find
She
other
put
ways
kids.
to
In
connect
fact,
with
she
the kids
probably loved
besides
doing that.
driving. I mean, maybe
She
she'll
always
drive
wants
them
to
in the
grab the
morning.
vacuum when I'm
Someone else
doing
will
it.
drive in the
Great.
afternoon.
How
She'll
about
have
doing the
even more
dishes?
time.
Kids.
Do you
How
follow me on
about
this?
making the beds? Kids maybe should make their
And so,
own
by
beds.
the
You can
way, I had to
supervise.
go
Well,
back
guess
up and
what?
do this
If we take
with her
kids for
first
making the
block.
beds, that's 30
And so
minutes. Doing the
now
dishes is
that
30
I've
minutes.
begun to
Vacuum is
describe this
20
to you, you might
minutes.
say, well, Tony,
And we look
there's
at
more to
folding
do
the
in step
clothes,
two.
that's
Yeah,
15
let me
minutes.
be
You
really
just
clear
saved
with you.
yourself 2 hours.
First step is step
still got the
two,
result.
which is
Better than
let's
that. You didn't just
remind
get the
ourselves once
result.
again, step one is
You got your
capture
more
it, get
important
it out of your
outcome.
head. Step two,
You can be there with the kids while it's
create an
happening.
RPM
You can
plan.
connect with them, but
What does
you're
that
teaching
mean?
them
You ask
values
yourself,
of responsibility, of
out of this
independence,
week,
of
out of this
pride.
thing I'm planning,
She
what's
started
the most
smiling, that
important what?
sense of like
result.
no more
What do I
stress,
really
right? All of a
want?
sudden you
What
can
do I
just see her
achieve?
go,
What's
oh my
my
God,
outcome?
I could
What's
have a
the
life.
result I'm committed
And
to?
you know what? I wouldn't have to
Right,
feel
if you
guilty
get
because I
something that's
know
really
this
great
is
and
what I
juicy.
want to do. I'm
Why do I
not
want to
making
do
my
it?
kids
What's
do
my
it. I
purpose?
want to do this because it's for
What's
them.
my
It's great for them. It's
specific
great for
action
me.
plan?
It's a
What
total
actions will I
win-win.
take to achieve this?
Now,
when you've done that,
this is the
you've got
process
the
that I made her
essence
go
of our
back up
RPM
and do on
plan,
the
but there are
first block
5
as well.
other steps. They're real
I had to
simple,
go back and
real
figure out
quickie
what's the
steps.
priority, which ones
First,
are musts.
you look
how
at the
much time for
priority,
each,
and if you
what
look
could
at the
you
planner,
leverage?
it always
But you know what's
guides you to
interesting?
that. It's on
In
the
her
left.
first list, she didn't
What's
leverage
the
very
order
much
of these things?
because she
you
wanted to be with
wanna,
the kids. She
for
didn't
example,
want to
cook
go
the
send
meal
them
and
with
then go buy
somebody
the
else in
groceries.
the car.
That's
She
not going to
wanted to
work
be
out
with
too
them.
well.
But later on,
and the
she
reason
may.
you're
On
doing
another day,
this
she
is
may
when
find
it
other
comes to
ways
go
to
to your
connect with
plan,
the
you
kids
want to
besides
just
driving.
look
Maybe
and
she'll drive them in the
run, not
morning,
have
and someone else will
any
drive in the afternoon. She'll have
With
even
your
more time.
musts, so if time
follow
gets
me on this?
pushed, I know which
Great.
ones I must do. I
And so,
can
by
look
the
down
way, I had to
asterisk
go back up and
those.
do
That's part
this
of step
with
one.
her
Step
first
two,
block.
how long will
And so
it take?
now that I've begun to
Estimate
describe this to you, you
times.
might say, well, Tony,
Useful to
there's more to
estimate
do in step
slightly
2.
more
Yeah, I
time
need to
than
be
you
really
think.
clear with you.
If it includes
The
travel
first
or
step
something
is
like
step
that,
2,
but not
which
a
is,
lot, it'll
let's
make you
remind
stress.
ourselves once again, step 1 is
Thirdly, is there
capture it.
any of
Do
this
that
that
in your
can
head.
be
Step
leveraged?
2, create an
Now,
RPM
once
plan.
you've done that,
What does that mean?
you
Ask
total up
yourself,
the amount
out
of
of this day,
time
out of this week,
you
out of this
have
thing I'm
there
planning,
total,
what's
and
the
you do
most
a
important
slash,
what?
and you do
Result.
your
What do I
must
really
time.
want? What do I
Call
want to achieve? What's
MT,
my
and I circle
outcome?
it.
What's the result
I
I'm
might have,
committed
for
to?
example,
Write it to
4
get something
hours
that's
an
really great and
example of
juicy.
her
Why do I
creating
want to
and
do it?
maintaining
What's
an
my
environment,
purpose?
4 and 35
What's my
minutes, or an
specific
hour
action
and
plan?
30.
What actions will I take to
Boy,
achieve
if I'm
it?
stressed,
When
it's
you've
nice to
done
know I
that,
get the major
you've got the
outcome, the
essence
major
of an
result
RPM
I'm
plan,
after
but
in
there
an
are
hour and
5
30
other
minutes.
steps. They're
Do you
real
follow
simple,
that?
real quickie
If you look on the
steps.
chart, it'll be easier to
First,
see if you
you
actually
look at the
look at
priority,
day.
and if you look at the planner,
Now,
it always guides you to
the
that. It's
last
on the
thing I
left.
do when you're
What's the
building an
order of these
RPM plan
things? Because
is
you don't
something
want
that's
to,
just
for example,
designed to
cook
make
the
sure
meal
that
and then go buy the
visually
groceries.
your
That's not
mind
going to work
doesn't
out
get
too well.
overwhelmed.
So, and the
And
reason
that
you're
is what
doing
I've
this is when
done.
it comes to go to your
I've
plan, you
written
want it
my
just to be
result,
look
my
and
massive
run, not
action
have any
plan.
pauses.
I draw
With your
a box
musts,
around
so
the
if
whole
time
thing.
gets pushed, I know which ones I
literally go
must do. I
from
can
the
look down and
priority
asterisk
section
those.
all
That's
the way
part of
around, and I
step
make
one.
it
Step
bold.
two, how long
and
will
then
it take?
skip a line
Estimate times.
before I write my
It's useful
next
to estimate
result
slightly more time than you
The
think.
reason I do that is so
includes
it looks
travel or
like a
something like
block
that, but not
all
a
by
lot.
itself,
It'll
and
make
they're
you
not
stress.
all attached
And
to
thirdly,
each
is there
other.
any of this that
This will
can
be
be
much
leveraged?
easier if you actually look in
Now,
your book.
once you've
You'll see
done
what I've
that,
done is
you
skip a
total
line.
up the amount of
Because
time
if you bunch them
you
up
have
against each
there in
other, it
total,
just
and you do a
all
slash,
blends
and you
together.
do your must
When you
time.
look at
I
a
call
page
MT,
and you
and I
see
circle
something
it.
like her day,
So I might
you'll
have,
see
for
her day is
example,
actually
4 hours an
4
example of her
result commitments.
creating and maintaining an
And you'll
environment,
see
4 and
it's very
35
easy to
minutes,
see
or
there's
an hour
4
and
things
30.
she's trying to accomplish that day.
Boy, if I'm stressed,
as
it's nice to know
opposed
I can
to
get
if
the
I look
major
at her
outcome,
list
the
and
major
when you
result
look
I'm
in your
after in an
notebook,
hour and
you'll
30
see she
minutes. Do
has
you follow that?
16.
If you look on the chart, it'll be easier
5
to see if you
is,
actually look at a day. Now, the last thing I do when you're building an RPM plan is something that's just designed to make sure that visually your mind doesn't get overwhelmed. And that is when I'm done and I've written my result and my purpose and my massive action plan, I draw a box around the whole thing, right? I literally go from the priority section all the way around and I make it bold. And then I skip a line before I write my next result commitment. And the reason I do that is so it looks like a block all by itself and they're not all attached to each other. This will be much easier if you actually look in your book. You'll see what I've done is skip a line because if you bunch them up against each other, it just all blends together. When you look at a page and you see something like her day, you'll see her day is actually 4 result commitments. And you'll see it's very easy to see there's 4 things she's trying to accomplish that day, as opposed to if I look at her list and when you look in your notebook, you'll see she has 16, 5 is